that on starting on time. So here we go. It is now 2:00 and we're going to start our official webinar with IngramSpark. I just want to say a few words about them before they get into this. And that is that IngramSpark is the way to get the premier way to get your book distributed into all the places, Amazon and all the other places. So if you're looking at being in bookstores, if you're looking at being in libraries, this is your best route for indie authors. They offer a variety of different content on their website to help you through that process. We're going to go through all of that, but they are our platinum sponsor this year. And I've been using IngramSpark for probably 8 years, at least at more than 5, I can say that. And it's been, we've published a lot of books, both under our own publishing houses and through other authors using IngramSpark. And it's been a great experience. And we're going to go through and welcome Dion. I want to thank you all so much for being our platinum sponsor and for all that IngramSpark does for indie authors and for small publishers to get our books out into the world. So I'm going to kick it over to you so that we can all learn all about it.
All right. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to talk about IngramSpark, especially since we've celebrated our 10th year anniversary this year. So it's kind of good to be able to kickstart this off and to be able to share some more information about Ingram and IngramSpark for everybody. So in this presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between IngramSpark and Ingram. You're going to learn about our print-on-demand business and services. You're going to learn a little bit about our ebook services that we have as well, some metadata tips, and then just some overall insights to publishing that we have within our platform. So I kind of go. Just a little bit of information about me. I am IngramSpark's key account sales manager. One of my roles is that I help with authors and publishers getting inside the platform and understanding how to utilize our platform the best. There's a few other projects and things that I work with internally within IngramSpark to help not only for authors and publishers to boost their sales, but to also make sure that they are reaching the sales channels that they want to hit, whether that be in the national book chains or whether that's with independent bookstores, libraries, things of that nature. Me and my team that's our sole responsibility, and I'm kind of the point leader in that for IngramSpark. So first thing we're going to talk about is who is Ingram. Usually the reason why I have this on there, because the biggest misconception is that everybody puts Ingram and IngramSpark in the same bubble, and that's just not the case. So let's talk about Ingram. So Ingram, in your mind, is the powerhouse that for everything. So Ingram is the arm that's going to be able to take your books and make sure that it's available to the retail market. So the best way to think about it is that Ingram is kind of the wholesaler in this equation for you. You as the author are a publisher, or if you're a publisher managing with authors, you are the publisher who is bringing in content to IngramSpark. IngramSpark is then taking your content and then sending it over to Ingram Book Company, who is the wholesaler who owns the relationship between the retailers. And then Ingram's job is to make sure that they are fulfilling and distributing content to the retail market based on however many orders that they wish to have for the book, or just making sure that they have access to the books in their catalog. And as you can see, Ingram houses over 16 million titles and counting. So there's a lot of books that are involved in this equation of distribution, and we're just here to help make sure that you as an author are represented just like any other Big 5 publisher is. So where is Ingram's reach? Ingram can get your books available anywhere where books are sold. And so I've listed a few major things about how that reach is. So the reach is with global and regional book chains. So that would be like your Barnes & Noble, your Books A Million, your Gardners, Waterstone, Chapters Indigo. Those are more of your national chains. The independent bookstores, stores like your Powell's, your Tattered Books, even here in Nashville, we have one named Parnassus. Universities and university bookshops, Online retailers, which would be your Amazon.com, your BarnesandNoble.coms, your BooksAMillion.coms, gift retailers, museum shops, and then public and school libraries. So literally when you have your books available with Ingram, I mean, like I said earlier, anywhere books are sold has the access to be able to order your book. The moment that you set your book up available for distribution, it is widely seen by all of these retail partners, and that way they have access to your book. Now, they don't even know that your books are available as print on demand. They just see that the book is readily available for them to purchase and have in their hands within a week's time. And that is regardless of if it's in the United States or anywhere globally that we have a distribution arm in. We also offer ebook distribution. We have ebook distribution with over 55 different retail partners. That includes Amazon, Apple, Barnes and Noble, Hoopla, Scribd, as far as subscription models go, and even libraries as well. They have the ability to order, to be able to have access to your ebooks as well. So customers, no matter what format you have, whether it's in print or digital, will be able to have access to your books. And here's just a few other partners in here that you can see, and these are global partners as well. You'll notice on here that there's an asterisk beside Amazon and Apple. And the reason that we have that is because there is 2 agreements that you can sign to either opt in or opt out of distribution with Amazon and with Apple. So if you prefer to go direct, you can go direct without having any penalties using our distribution services. So what's the advantage of using IngramSpark? Well, we're a one-stop shop platform for you. So as I said, you can do a paperback with us, you can do a hardcover with us, you can even do your ebook with us and have it all available in one area that you don't have to worry about managing with a KDP account, with a Nook account, with Google Play, things of that nature. We handle everything for you in our one simple platform. To set up an account is for free. If you have heard of IngramSpark, you know, prior to this year, we used to have a title setup fee. We have literally gotten rid of all the barriers for you to come into our platform. So now you can create an account for free, you can set up a title for free, and you can enable your book for distribution for free. So that way your books can start reaching out. So that way you can start having your books available to customers as soon as you get in. You get to control the retail prices, the discount, and the returnability. We don't set anything for you. We don't have any requirements that you have to do to be able to have your books available for distribution. You, as the author or as the publisher, get to set that. You determine what your retail price is. You get to determine how much of a discount that you're going to give to the retail market. And then you're going to determine if you want to take the risk of having your books returnable or not. And I'll speak a little bit more about these 3 things a little bit later in the presentation about how some of these decisions also affect retail buying as well. As long as your account is available with this, your content is always available. And I would also mention that as long as you own your ISBN, you also have full access to your content as well. Having ownership of your ISBN and being able to have your books always available for print is one of the key things that people come to IngramSpark for. And also, again, having the widest reach. There is nobody in the print on demand service side that can give you the reach that IngramSpark can. And that is because we are 100% backed in by Ingram Book Company. Like, as you know, Ingram Book Company is one of the largest retail book distributors in the world right now. So being able to come directly with us and making sure that all the 49,000 retail partners that Ingram has access to can see your book is a key difference maker between us and our competition. And also having a huge ebook distribution method behind us too is also a big thing. You won't see too many people that have as big of a reach on the ebook distribution side as we do as well. So let's talk about how this all works. So if you want to get started, the first thing that you have to do is create an account with us. So if you go to www.ingramspark.com, you can see at the top, there'll be a button that says create an account. It'll ask you for some basic information as far as what your name is, what your business name is, and an email address. And once you supply those things, you get kickstarted into having your own account. Once your account is fully set up with having your credit card on file, having your tax information set up, and then listing your bank or your PayPal information for you to get paid by us when your book sells, then you can start setting up a book in our platform. All you need to have to do to set up a book with us is to have all of your metadata, which is something I'll speak of a little bit later in this presentation. You need to have print ready files for your print book. So you'll have a cover with the front, back, and spine attached to it. And then you'll have your interior file as a single page layout. Everything for your print books should be saved as a PDF. If you're doing an ebook, we ask you for a JPEG cover image and a EPUB 3 file to have for your ebooks. If you cannot supply a ebook with the JPEG cover image or with the EPUB file, we do have a conversion service for you. So as soon as you get a print book set up with us that is ready to go, we can convert that into an ebook for you for 60 cents per page. So instead of you having to worry about making sure that your ebooks is designed properly, we have a team that can create that for you for a small fee. Our platform allows you to set up your books for pre-order and for global pricing. So again, you can have your books available for a month, for about 3 to 4 months time ahead of the time that you want it released to the public. And that we offer global pricing, so that way you can have your books available outside of the US, so they can be available within the UK, Australia, India, parts of Asia. Wherever you want to see your book sell, we have the ability to make that happen for you. Hold on, I saw a question about please reference the benefits and key features for illustrated books as well. I will get to that towards the end, so I won't forget about that. The pleasure about IngramSpark is that like I said, we send your metadata and your book information to all the retail partners that Ingram has access to, which includes the bigger retailers, which would be Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, bookshop.org. Who else am I missing? Target.com and Walmart.com. All of these major retailers are available with you within our distribution network. And then again, IngramSpark uses print on demand for everything. So the moment you have your titles, you do not have to worry about inventory, because we print those books as soon as the order is submitted, whether that is an order submitted by you on your account, or if one of the retailers asks to have copies of your book for, whether it be for their store or for them to send directly to an individual. And then the biggest thing is we pay you after the sale. We pay you 90 days after the sale month, after the first date of sale. And so as long as you have sales every month after that once our 3-month phase has ended, you will always get paid every time that your book sells. Let me see. Okay, so why does print on demand make sense? Well, the biggest thing is that you don't have to worry about inventory. You no longer have to go through and figure out, well, if I want to make sure that I get the best deal possible, that I need to print thousands or hundreds of books and then hope that those books sell. No, we allow you to where all you need is to have your files, and then we print those books, whether it be if 10 customers buys the books or if thousands of customers buy your book. We have those files readily available to us to print within a few business days time, so that way those customers receive their orders in a timely manner. There's no warehousing costs, so we don't the fact that your files are digitally available to us, we don't have to charge you any warehousing fees for that, or keeping the physical inventory in a warehouse for your behalf. We keep it in an internal system, and then once the order comes in, we immediately send it to the printer for it to be printed right there. No guesswork as far as your demand, of trying to figure out, well, how many books should you print? How many books do you need to print in order to sell X amount of copies? We take care of all that for you. Now you get the access to the global markets. As I said earlier, have the ability to not only sell in the US, but within Canada, within the UK, within the greater parts of Europe, within Asia, India, South Africa, Australia. All of these territories are available for you with our distribution. You have the ability to revise your files at any time. So should you win an award, or if you are becoming a New York Times bestseller or a Wall Street Journal bestseller, you're able to adjust your files so that way that is noted on your book and in your metadata data as soon as you win those awards. And we have some of the fastest turnaround times in the business. Most of our retail orders are fulfilled within a 2 to 3 business day run. And then if you order books on your end, they can be printed within 5 to 10 business days, depending on what format you decide to use with us. So some things to know about distribution. Just because you have your book available for distribution and out there to these retail partners, does that mean that your book stops there? You still are responsible for marketing your book and making sure customers know that your book is available for them to order. So that it is up to you to find out how to reach the customer, how to reach your target audience. We just take your information and make the books available to the retailers. You have to make sure that the readers know that your content is out there and know where they can find that content. You need to be telling retailers and libraries about your book if you want your book available within their store. You need to let them know that your books are available with Ingram or with Ingram Book Company, and from there they'll be able to know how to buy the books. As I said, most retailers already have an established relationship with Ingram, so the moment you tell them that your books are available with Ingram or Ingram Book Company, they'll know exactly how they can go place an order for your book. As I stated, Ingram does not directly sell your books to retailers. This is on you for you to be able to notify them and to make sure that they know that your books are available. So that way their customers know that they can buy your books from them. We just make it available for them. So that way, the moment that they want, whether it be 5 to 100 copies, that they know that they can come to Ingram and get those books as soon as they need them. So here's some advice for pre-orders when you are working with Ingram, or just to kind of start the process before you get to distribution. We highly recommend that you work with professionals when it comes to your book design, whether it be for the book cover, for formatting, for proofreading, things of that nature. Always take the time to have your resources to use professionals to help you out with this. Ingram does not have any on-hand resources to help you out. So the better that you go and invest with some professionals that can help you out with this, the more professional your book will look like to the market. Find standard trim sizes. Usually the biggest thing that I hear from authors is that they want their books to be unique. And while that is true, there's a little bit of being too unique out there in the market that it does not help the retailer to be able to sell to their patrons. So if you can find a standard trim size while still being unique with your content, that is the best route that you can go. Use social media to build your author platform. Now, again, this is where your marketing comes into play. You are a brand and you should treat this as such. So use your social media following, use your family, use your community resources to help you get your brand out there, so that way people know about you and of your content that's available. And use this opportunity to start networking. Find other publishing groups and find other publishing communities to learn more about the business before you go ahead and immediately have your book available out there for the world. Now, what is metadata and why does metadata matter? Well, metadata is the piece of information that is going to be used for either a retailer to be able to find your book or for a consumer to be able to find your book. So when you go on those little beautiful search engines, whether it be on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or Google, or whichever web browser that you decide to use, this information that's listed here is what's going to help readers be able to find your book. So the more concise information that you have regarding your book, the easier it will be for consumers to be able to find your book and know that is something of interest to them. So making sure that you have a nice, strong book title, having an author bio, some affiliations to yourself that helps readers understand and know uh, that you are an expert in that field, helps them have some confidence with you, even if you are a first-time author. Having a good description and short descriptions, so that way they know exactly what they're getting when they're picking up the book or when they're searching the book on the .coms. Having strong keywords and reviews, because these are the things that's going to really help populate your book to the top of the search engine instead of being hidden behind multiple pages when people are searching for your book. And the biggest thing is truly understanding your audience, of knowing who your target audience is and making sure that your metadata is representing that to them. So when we talk about metadata, this is kind of why it's important. So when we look at this page right here, this is exactly what we are doing once you submit your metadata to us and you have your files ready to go. We take all that pieces of information and we send it over to a platform called iPage. iPage is where most of the retail market in the US and the UK and AU will look to find your book. So all of your metadata, as far as your title, your subtitle, will be here at the top. You'll have your ISBN listed. They'll be able to see the price of the book and determine if they get a regular discount or a short discount. Again, we'll talk about a little bit about this later. They'll get to see the binding type of your book. They'll see the short and main description for your titles. They'll see if you have it in any various formats. And then Ingram will also put a virtual on-hand ticker, so that way retailers know that they can get the book. So that way they can tell how many books that Ingram has readily available. One thing about this is that this is a virtual number. So that does not mean that we have 130 books available right there in the warehouse for us to pick and pack, because we're going to print those books as soon as they order it. But however, to the retailer, they're going to see that, hey, there's 130 books, and if I want 10 of them, I'll be able to get my order of 10 fairly quickly. And so that's why we have that number there. And so it does not deter a retailer from purchasing your books. And then once it goes from Ingram's iPage, then it filters out to the retail market where now you see your Amazon listing, your Barnes and Noble listing, your bookshop.org listing available, to where customers can then either pre-order or order the book available right there. And then here's a look at what it will look like on Barnes and Noble as well. So let's talk about setting your book up for some retail success. The first thing is making sure that you have global pricing. In order for you not to miss a sale, the best thing to do is to make sure that you have pricing available in all of our global markets. In our platform, you'll see 5 common global markets. You'll see the US, the UK, EU, Canada, and Australia. And then we also have another option that you can choose from, which would be our Global Connect partnership, which is where Ingram does not have an exact physical footprint location where we print books at, but we've connected with other print-on-demand facilities that can offer distribution in countries that we just don't have a physical footprint in. And this would be in Spain, in Brazil, in Poland, Germany, Italy, France, China, Japan, South Africa, and then we are working on one in Mexico coming up here soon. So again, this kind of really ties in on the fact of what I was saying earlier about our true global distribution of that the moment that you have pricing available, the books are available anywhere where a customer who is looking for content can purchase your content. Now let's talk about your wholesale discount. The wholesale discount is what's going to determine how much a bookstore is going to be able to kind of it's going to help determine their margin on the sale for the books. So you have two options here. You can either do a full trade discount, which means that you're going to have your discount set anywhere from 53% to 55%. I always recommend, if you're going to go the full trade discount route, to always go 53%. Give yourself an extra couple of cents in your pocket for that sale. Or if you know that you're not going to try to sell your books to independent bookstores or to the major chains, then you can offer a short discount. So that would be anything from 40% to 52%, 2%. Now, the two differences between these, like as I said, was that when you have a 53 to 55%, you should really be making sure that you are marketing your book to the independent bookstores, to the major chains like Barnes and Noble and Books a Million, because these are the terms that they like to see when they're looking to buy content from Ingram. If you have a short discount, you're kind of shortening the margin that they get. And so they're not going to order books for it to be on their shelves. What they'll do is instead is say like, hey, we'll wait for 5 or 6 individuals to come in, special request these books. And then once we see the demand in there, now we can take a little bit more risk that's involved of buying this content. Otherwise, when you have a short discount, it's truly only going to really sell amongst the .com. So your Amazon.com, your BarnesandNoble.com, Bookshop.org, those would be the major places where the books will sell if you are offering a short discount. Now let's talk about the other big thing: returns. This is the one thing that kind of scares everybody, is because they don't understand when and when not to take the risk. So if you don't want to take the risk of having either books come back to you or being charged for books that are returned, then you can be non-returnable, meaning that once a book is ordered from a retailer, it is a guaranteed sale for you. You don't have to worry about paying the retailer back or paying IngramSpark back for anything. However, if you do want to make sure that your books are fully and widely available, especially on the shelves of independent bookstores and the chains like Barnes and Noble, then you have to make sure that your book is 53% on the wholesale side, and at least return destroy or return deliver. I always recommend going return destroy, because return destroy is going to be the most economical decision for you. It is the cheapest way for you to be able to have full access to all these retailers without having a true expensive cost to this. Now, if you're the individual who wants to see those books that wants to have those books returned, because you may want to use them for conferences, or you want to maybe assign them and do them as giveaways, then you can make them return and deliver, where then you'll be charged not only the wholesale cost that is for the return, but you'll also be charged an extra $3 per book that is returned back to us. And that's only if you are a U.S. resident and it's coming back to you in the U.S. If you get an international return that has to come back into the U.S., or if you're a U.S. resident and it has to be returned into Canada, there is a $20 per book charge for this. So I really want to make sure that you understand the financial responsibility that is on you when you make this decision. So again, my recommendation, if you're going to make your books returnable, is always make them return destroy. But if you are the type that wants to make sure that you have some books, whether it be for shows, for giveaways, or for some special editions, then you can use the return destroy, the return deliver option, where you'll be charged the $3 or $20 per book charge for it. Let me go back. And so the one thing about our return policy is that a retailer can return a book at any time. So whether a retailer bought the book 6 months ago, 2 days ago or even 2 years ago, Ingram will always accept those returns, and you as the author and publisher will be responsible for those returns. So again, that will play a part of your decision of whether you want to take the risk of having your books returnable or non-returnable as well. All right, all right, so let's talk about setting up your book. So let's look at all the different options that we have for creating a book. So you have a standard paperback option, which is called a perfect bound in our terminology. You have a traditional hardcover, which is bound by cardboard, where you can either have your cover printed on that cardboard, or you can get what is called a digital cloth, which is where we print a blue or a gray cloth, fake cloth look to the hardcovers for you. Or you can have a dust jacket wrapped around it, where you can have the print on the cardboard with a blue or gray digital cloth look on it, and then have your cover printed on a paper that is wrapped around the book. Then we also have a third hardcover option that's just called a jacketed case laminate, which means that you can have the books printed, which you have your cover printed on the cardboard, as well as have a dust jacket wrapped around it. This option is one of my favorite options because you can kind of play around and have like a special look to a book. So you can have the inside cover be completely different than what your dust jacket cover looks like. Many authors do this with their hardcover, and it's a crowd favorite amongst the retail market and their consumers. So I love that option as a jacketed case laminate for us. Some interior options. You have a 50-pound paper that's either on cream or white if you're doing a black and white book. If you're doing a color book, we have 4 other options. So you can do 50-pound on a white paper. You can do a standard color that is printed on 70-pound paper. You can do premium color, which is a slightly enhanced color option in compared to our standard color, which is also printed on 70-pound paper. Or you can do our news service offering and have a book printed on ultra premium, which is going to have a more supreme look as far as the color goes forward. I like this option because this gives the color a little bit more sharpness, and it looks a little bit more rich, and that's because it's printed off of a toner printer in comparison to the inkjet printers as the other color options that we have. And then so trim sizes, these are some of the most popular trim sizes that we have available. If you're doing a standard trade novel, it'd be 5x8, 6x9 would be the option that you're looking for. If you're doing a children's book, a good option would be our 8.5 by 8.5 or 6.5 by 6.5, or you can even do the full portrait at an 8.5 by 11. Now we do offer one landscape size, and that is 11 by 8.5, and that will always be printed as a premium color or as an ultra premium. So you don't have the ability to go to the standard color with that landscape option. You only have the premium and the ultra premium as an option with our landscape trim size. And then we also offer the variation to have custom trim sizes, regardless if it's a paperback or a hardcover book. So if you wanted to do like a 7 by 11, or if you want to do an 8.5 by 10, you have that freedom to do now within our platform, regardless if it's a paperback or a hardcover. Now let's understanding how you can figure out what the cost is going to be for your book to be within our platform. So we have 2 major calculators that should be used for you. And one way how you can find this out is once you have an account set up is you can go on the left menu bar, go to the tools and resource sources. You'll be taken to this page right here, and then you'll go underneath calculators, and you'll be able to look at the printing ship calculator and our compensation calculator. Well, let's just say if you don't have an account with us so far, and you still want to be able to see these calculators, you can go to www.ingramspark.com, click on resources, And then you'll see calculators as well underneath that sub menu that will take you directly to these two links as well. So the first thing I always tell people to look at is the printing and shipping calculator, because what you can do is you can enter in all the information for your books, for your book, and then be able to see exactly what the print cost is down to the penny, and see how much it would cost if you wanted to ship it to yourself or to some family or friends or to anywhere around the world that you would like to have the book shipped to. This will give you not only your printing cost, but it'll also give you the shipping costs and different variations of print services and shipping services that you can select if you would like your books printed in an expedited fashion, or if you like to purchase to have the books shipped to you a little bit faster. You'll be able to see that within that printing and shipping calculator. Now, the big one that everybody probably wants to see is the compensation calculator. The compensation calculator will use the information that we talked about in the beginning in regards to your wholesale discount to help you determine how much you will make on the book. And let me make sure I have. And we'll go all the way to this now to talk about that. So you want to understand now of how we calculate your publisher compensation. Well, we look at three things here. We look at your retail price. So what your retail price is set is what we send out to all our retail partners, and that is what we use to determine what we pay you. No matter what a retailer sells the book at, look at it. If you have the book at $20 and a retailer selling it at $18, we are paying you as if they sold the book at $20. So that's the number one thing you look at versus what is you supplied to us in your metadata for your retail price. Then we take away the wholesale discount that whether regardless if you did a 53% discount or if you did a 40% discount, we subtract that from your list price to determine what is your wholesale price that Ingram purchased the books at on your behalf. So in this equation, Ingram purchased with a 53% wholesale discount. Ingram bought the book at $9.40. And then what we take away on the last thing is the print cost. The print cost also includes a 1% market access fee that we charge to have your books available within the catalog for these 40,000 retail partners to have access to. Every individual who has an IngramSpark account has the same 1% fee, and it is still applied within the print cost. So you will see all that right there. So for here, we take away the $5.37 that it took for us to print that black and white 300-page 6x9 paperback. And then we now pay you as the author or publisher $4.03 every time that book is sold. So no matter if it's one book or 100 books, you will always be paid $4.03 every time that book sells. Now let's talk about making your books available for pre-order. If you're the individual who wants to have your books available for pre-order, you want to make sure that you can start building some anticipation for your book before it's physically available for customers to use. You can do that within our platform by making sure that you have your on-sale date and your publication date set into the future. So one way how I always say about that is, so if you look at today is 10/19. Let's just say I want to make sure that that customers can be able to buy my book by December 1st. What I do in the platforms once my book is available for print and distribution, I click that I want to enable distribution today on 10/19. I have in my metadata stated that I want my publication date and my on-sale date set to December 1st, because regardless if a retailer looks at the on-sale date or looks at the publication date, they know that they cannot sell the book until that date hits. But however, on today, when I hit enable for distribution, that allows retailers to be able to have that metadata information in their system to be able to populate a listing. And then that will create the pre-order buttons that you see on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and bookshop.org, or to the customers know that, hey, between now all the way to December 1st, they can pre-order the book, and once December 1st hits that they will receive their copy either on the 1st or probably like the next day afterwards, depending on the shipping with the retailer. All right, so let's look at some success for brick and mortar. One thing that we always preach is to make sure that you're doing your homework and looking at comparable titles to your book. That's the best way how you can determine to make sure that you have the correct list price for your book, and that you're not pricing yourself out of the market. You want to be able to go to a few different places. You want to go to Amazon, you want to go to your local independent bookstore, you want to go to Barnes and Noble. Find you a good price range between those retail sectors, and then making sure that you're somewhere in the middle. You don't want to be too low, because then you're gonna cut into your own publisher compensation, but you also don't want to be too high to where a customer does not even want to purchase the book because they don't find the value of it. You want to find a good little sweet spot in between those ranges. And also, I like to use this as well. Do not look at your HarperCollins, your Penguin Random Houses, things of that nature. Most of them are buying huge print runs, which allows them to be able to give a lower list price. You want to look at some of the other books outside of the major publishers, so that way you have a better pricing range for how you, based off of your business model, can sell your book. You want to again factor in your manufacturing costs and the cost for the other comparable books, because like again, you're using print on demand, which means that your print cost is going to be slightly higher than other books. But however, you're not going to have the same fees that are applied to it, such as warehousing fees, extra distribution fees, shipping fees, things of that nature. So you have all that considered when you're thinking about your price as far as what's going to be a reasonable price for you to get a decent return, and what's going to be a decent price for a consumer that's actually going to want to buy the book themselves. And then you want to make sure that your paperback is your retail version book. The paperback should be the one that you set up with a 55% wholesale discount, and the one that you possibly make as return and destroy for the retail market. I'll talk about the hardcover here in a second with that. As you're selling your books to retailers, you don't want to mention how great your book has done on Amazon. Amazon is the biggest competitor to most of the brick and mortar market. So you want to bypass using anything with Amazon as much as possible. Your goal is to try to make sure that you can get readers actually to their store and to their location to buy the books. Once the bookstore has agreed to stock your book, make sure that you're out there and your marketing, informing people that this retailer now has books available in their store. Make sure on your socials that you're shouting them out, that you're giving them a shout out for now being a partner with you as far as carrying your books going forward. In your tip sheets or in your one sheets that you're giving out, make sure that you have that your books are listed as sold, as anywhere books are sold. So you don't want to kind of be you want to be retailer agnostic in this situation, because you want to make sure that you're spreading the love across all of the retail market and not just really showing favoritism towards one over another. Now let's talk about tips for library success. This is where that hardcover comes in. This is where you can have your hardcover be your library edition, and you can mention that in your metadata. Your hardcover can be set as a short discount, non-returnable book, because the libraries will still buy the books even if they are not returnable. There's a little bit more flexibility because those books are going to sit on their shelves a lot longer. So you have the ability to now go to the lowest wholesale discount, make these non-returnable, so that way you get the biggest payout for this, and engaging more within your community, within that library community. Making sure that you have the proper metadata as far as marked record goes is a key thing to mention as well. This is the only way for the libraries to be able to make sure that they have the books cataloged correctly within their library. So you want to make sure that you have that listed properly within your metadata. Other ways for success is making sure that you have some nice reviews, whether it be from Library Journal, Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, getting some reviews from these industry professionals. Just make sure books look good as they are looking in our system to purchase your books. And also, I recommend attending some ALA state shows, so that way you are meeting your librarians and other librarians in surrounding states, so you can build a good rapport with them and build some great networking connections. So let's talk about some tips from other successful independent authors that have used our platform. The biggest thing that they always mention is making sure that you market yourself and you are branding yourself online and in person. They said this is the biggest piece of success that they've seen, is that not only are they help trying to boost their platform online, but when they're going to retail, when they're going to Barnes and Noble or their local independent bookstore or library, that they're making sure that their name is just as good as they see online. So making sure they have their tip sheets with all the information that they need to have as far as what would entice a customer to come buy the book, as well as their marketing strategy for how they're going to get people into their store. This is the biggest thing that we get from our successful authors. Networking and attending conferences and webinars like this allows them to get good information about what's going on in the industry, as well as understanding how to best utilize their platform, so that way they can have the best success going forward for their books. Working on becoming an expert in their field and working with other industry professionals to make sure that they are up to date on everything that's going on in the publishing industry. This is a big thing for them, because, like, as we know, the publishing industry literally changes on almost a quarterly basis. So to make sure that you're attending shows and staying up to all the updates that are going on is key to being successful with your book. Make sure that you're pursuing reviews and awards. These are the small things that people miss out on, because they're just so worried about their book sales and where their books are selling, that they forget to make sure that when they get a good review, or they get a nice strong review from a well-touted individual, that they list that in their metadata, or that they put that on the back cover of their book, so that way people know that, like, hey, this book is a true value content within the industry, or that there's individuals who truly speak highly of this book, and that they are well known within the publishing industry. And the biggest thing is don't get discouraged by rejection. Some of you guys are going to be looking for agents, are going to be pushing to other publishers, bigger publishers, to take your content. Don't be afraid to receive a no from them. I know only means just not right now. It does not mean no for the foreseeable future. So in summary here, the key things that I want you to remember is that to make sure that you are promoting your title once you use our platform. Marketing is going to be your biggest friend for you to be successful with your book. Make sure that you have your books available for all markets, so you're not missing a sale. You'll be surprised of how many books that we have that sell beyond just the U.S. And they would not have sold beyond the U.S. if they did not have global pricing on their books. Ensure that you're making sure that your metadata is up to date and as SOE friendly as possible. You should be considering updating your metadata on a 6 to 8 month basis, so that way you make sure that your metadata is fresh and making sure that it's hitting the target audience that you want it to hit. And finally, making sure that you're working your tail off to get an opportunity to present itself, whether that be within the brick and mortar business, or whether that might be for you to look into other distribution methods, because you want to get kind of beyond the print on demand. You want to make sure that you're working yourself as hard as you can to make sure that your book is as successful as possible. And I'll kind of talk about some new things that we have within our platform. So earlier this year, we kind of updated our reporting suite, so that way we can make more dynamic and more and faster information available for you. So our new reporting suite now is up to date every 12 hours, and it has that dynamic, and it has a heat sheet that lets you know exactly where your books are selling, whether it be on a 7-day basis, a 30-day basis, 90 days, or to a full year. You'll be able to see exactly where your books have sold, not just in the US, but also globally within our platform. You'll be able to see if you have multiple titles, which titles are selling the best within your count, so that way you can gauge how your marketing is doing with the impact of sales that are coming in on a daily basis. And then over here we have these nice little award charms here, so that way you can see which book is selling the best within your catalog. So if you have a gold star on your book, that means that book is the top selling book within your account. And also you'll be able to see in this report too how well that book is performing with other IngramSpark titles based on its genre. So if you're doing a children's book, you'll be able to see that your book ranks whether it be top 25 or top 150 in our catalog based off of how the sales have gone for that title. And then here's some things that if you need some assistance going forward, you can visit our podcast at www.ingramspark.com/podcast, where we have interview industry professionals that can give you information as anything as far as selling your book, how to make sure that you have the proper content, how to have some best practices going on with the industry. You can find some good, valuable information through our podcast. You can try our IngramSpark Academy, where you can get a full glimpse of learning everything as far as the writing process goes, all the way to publishing your book and having your books available for distribution. We kind of give you some courses there and a little quiz at the end to make sure that you are understanding all the information that's available out there. And then you can read our blogs where we have other industry friends and other successful authors who are using our platform that are sharing their story of how they found success and what is helping them out right now based on the current market needs. So I know there's been some questions on through the chat, so I'm going to try to go through.
Oh my gosh, do you want me to help you with this? Because there are so many questions. I've been rapidly going through all the ones that I could possibly answer in the Q&A box. Let's start there, because that's where that might be a little bit easier to go through. Just quickly, I have a bunch of resources that I will include in our replay list. I see several of you are asking about where to get a tip sheet or a template, all that kind of stuff. We'll put a bunch of stuff in the replay email. So some of the things that you've been asking about specifics we'll go through. Okay, so you talked about I've seen lots of questions about customer service, timelines, getting help, signing up for the session to get some help, and the person not being able to help them. I know you talked about customer service, but can you go a little bit more through that? And I know y'all are making some big changes on this.
Yeah, so I'll talk about customer support, and customer support is one thing that we are working on right now. So the biggest thing is that yes, we do not have phone service for customer support. Everything is done either through email or through a chat service on your account. Our team right now is working on trying to answer all emails within a 3 to 4 business day turnaround time right now. Now, as there are certain points in the year where there's a little bit more volume than normal, so sometimes the turnaround times do increase, which we can foresee as we head into the holidays. But the team we've added probably about another 10 people to staff right now, and right now we are currently responding to emails within 48 hours. So do not feel discouraged just because we don't have phones. We have comparable people that are answering emails in a timely fashion. Now, there are some things that they can't answer as quickly, but they are trying their best. They are doing their best to answer everything within a 2 business day turnaround time for you.
And I just want to say, I love your new automated system for support. Sometimes mistakes happen, and I think everybody needs to understand this. When you're dealing with so many titles and so much printing and shipping, sometimes mistakes do happen. But I will say, you guys were phenomenal. We had some books that were ordered and we received the wrong books. We used the new automated system, and within 2 days, new books printed, expedited printing, 2-day air shipping. It was handled very quickly, and we were super grateful to get those books out to our author for her event. So very excited about that new system.
I will mention that too. So like if you do have issues with orders, instead of emailing customer support, always go into your orders tab, go to submitted orders, and hit there. You'll see a button beside that order that will say report an issue. That's where you should go to submit any complaints or has any questions in regards to your order there, because that will get answered faster than you just emailing customer support, because all they're going to do is tell you to go do that same process. Cut that middleman out. Anytime you have an issue with the order, go directly inside your account and submit and report an issue there, so that way our team can review that faster for you.
And on the customer support thing, I know a lot of times the customer support issues fall in a couple of issues: user error, loading the wrong files, or not following the templates, not making sure that everything is done the way they're supposed to be done. So if you don't know how to make the files the way they're supposed to be, definitely make sure that you're working with someone who can do that for you. And then the other big issue is often timeline. I think we've gotten really used to this world of being able to just get stuff right away, but it takes time to go through an approval process, to order a print proof, to get those books ordered and shipped. So the best way to avoid a lot of those scenarios is by giving yourself plenty of time in your process and not rushing through and then getting upset that you can't get your books on time. And that's a hard thing to say when you're like, I want to launch my book next week. But know that you can do that, but you're not going to necessarily have all of these other things happen with you. Okay, this question on, I'm sorry, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I better say I'll add something as far as turnaround times go. So I usually have two timeline windows, but now I have three for you guys. So if you have a paperback, I always say give yourself about 2 to 3 business weeks to get a paperback set up and ready to go for distribution. About 4 weeks for a hardcover. Now, if you do have issues that where you see that your title is processing for about 2 to 3 days, that probably means that your title is in quarantine with us, and that will involve like an extra 2 or 3 days on top of that, because our team internally with our content integrity team has to review that just to make sure that you are not violating any of our content integrity guidelines. And normally I would have included that in this PowerPoint here, but we just updated that like as of yesterday, so I didn't have it available to me for this presentation. But you can find that in our support section. Once you get an account set up, all you have to do is type in content integrity policy, and you will see those guidelines there that would affect that for you. So generally 3 weeks to a month's time, that's what you should plan prior for you having your book available with us.
Awesome. Lots of questions, or several questions, I should say, at least, about draft to digital. So the two main questions that I'm seeing are, if you're already using draft to digital, can you also be on IngramSpark? And that's the first question. And the second one is, should you consider moving from draft to digital to IngramSpark?
I will say it depends on what you're going to do. So if you're doing for print, I say it's better to come to us, because we are also doing the printing for them as well. Well, there's not going to be no difference other than pricing between the two. Now, for ebook distribution, it's going to depend on what you value the most. Do you value having a little bit of control within other retail markets? Because if so, then draft to digital will be the best platform for you. If you want to have just full access to any retailer that's available out there that you don't have to worry about it, then IngramSpark will be the platform. But yes, you can use both in tandem with each other.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Okay, great question from Brooke. If you've previously used, do you guys still offer a free ISBN? If people are using a free ISBN, do they have to unpublish the live version if they've then purchased their own ISBNs and then republish.
So if you have a free ISBN with us, I don't advise on unpublishing it. And the reason why is simply because of Amazon. If your book has had that free ISBN and it's already gained reviews, stars, and things of that nature, they don't transfer into the new ISBN. And so because of that, it's just better to have the ISBN that you own, republish that one, and then what Amazon will do, just list it as a new edition, and then Amazon will tie it to the old edition. So that way you can still keep some of those stars and those reviews to the book. So all what a customer will see is that when they go to the listing, they'll see, oh, here's a newer version of it. They'll click on that book and then they'll be able to purchase it while still seeing the reviews and results from the old book.
Yeah, good point. Great question. I don't know if you can answer this, but the benefit to putting a price on the back cover, including embedding the price in the barcode. That's an industry standard, but I don't know if you have a perspective from the IngramSpark side.
And that's really for Barnes and Noble, truly for Barnes and Noble Books A Million. Like if you really want to have your books available on their shelves, you have to have your price embedded on the back of the back cover. They will not accept a book that does not have one unless it's like receiving thousands of orders every week. So it's always best to do that if that is the route that you're going to be looking for. If you're going to look to have the book available within the major chains and within some of the independent bookstores, because they just rather have, it's easier for the customers to see the pricing there than having to wait till they go all the way to the front desk and see what the cost is.
Okay. I don't know if Louise hopped off yet, but I know she wanted to know if you have an option for spiral binding or other types of binding coming in the near future.
Not at this time. We are looking at board books for small children, but spiral is not on our roadmap as of right now.
Okay, good to know. For anyone who is in a rush situation, I've seen several people say they've got events coming up. They're trying to get their books available and out the door as quickly as possible. You do have expedited printing and expedited shipping options, right, for an additional fee?
Correct. There you can pay for paperbacks. You can pay for 1 day printing. You can pay for two day printing, which would be express and rush. So express is 2 day, rush is 1 day. For hardcovers, it's about 4 days with express, about 2 days depending on the size of the order. So now I will say this. Just because we have those options available does not mean it's always going to be within that time frame. Because if you're asking for 100 books printed on rush, we are not going to be able to print 100 books rushed in 1 day. It may take an extra 2 days just because we're also printing wholesale orders on top of your orders at the same time. So you do kind of have to be mindful of exactly what your quantity is and what you're also asking for in that time frame as well. So that's my biggest thing. I always try to piece out on that. And then we are also getting close to our holiday turnaround shutdown, meaning that our standard printing options are going to be extended, and that will start around, I want to say that was November 14th. I believe that's the date I was given. Let me make sure. No, November 13th for paperback. No, November 13th for hardcover, November 20th for paperbacks.
Awesome. And I will say you guys are really good about putting banners on the inside the thing. So when you come in there's a banner that pops up that says, these are key dates, these are our shipping windows, these are all of those things. So again, back to my point earlier, give yourself as much time as possible, always. And I mean, I just plan on at least having files loaded and ready to go like several months prior to launch to avoid any of these scenarios and slowdowns. Okay, we talked about this one. We're just going to answer a couple more questions because we're already over the hour here, and I know a lot of people will be running out soon. Are you able to provide your slides? I mean, you're going to get the replay, so you can go through and watch all of these and pause and take screenshots and all of those types of things as well. But you sent me the slides. Can I
Yep.
share them?
Yep, you can definitely share the slides, yes.
Great. I will be sharing that. Okay. Let's see. There's a lot of other very specific questions. One that was asked a couple times, so I want to hit on the dust jackets on children's picture books. Is this available now? No, still not.
I mean, it's available, but you wouldn't do a children's book in those trim sizes. So as I mentioned, a 6.5, a 6.5 by 6.5, or 8.5 by 8.5 does not have a dust jacket to it. Only select sizes have the dust jacket around it. So traditionally, anything under a 6x9 would standardly have a dust jacket attached to it. If you're doing a children's book, you're not going to be under a 6x9, so it wouldn't be available.
Okay, great. I'm sorry if we didn't get to your questions today, everyone. But do go to the IngramSpark.com website and look at their blog, look at all of their resources. They have so much amazing information. I always use the Google as well, how cover template plus IngramSpark gets me wherever I need to go, pricing plus IngramSpark if I can't do that. A couple of things, again, IngramSpark is our platinum sponsor for the conference. If you head over to womenInPublishingSummit.com/IngramSpark, you can get registered to win 25 free print copies of your book, which is a great way to help you save money at launch time. We'll be giving away those 25 copies one time during the conference for ticket holders, and we'll do another one at the end of the conference year, which is the end of September. I'm going to put together a bundle of resources for you, including our tutorial that we share on loading your book to IngramSpark that goes through all the different fields and what you need to know, including some other resources that the slides from today, some sample one sheets and other information, as well as the coupon code for the discounted ticket price. So as we mentioned, ticket sales are officially on pre-order. You can get your ticket conference with an additional $25. Your ticket for additional discount of $25 over at womenInPublishingSummit.com. Follow the purchase links and use the coupon code KICKOFF, and you will be eligible for that. So just so many great things. I've used IngramSpark for years and I learned new stuff today. So I'm sure we'll be having many more discussions around the marketing piece, etc., as we move forward, because that's really the big thing. You can load your book to IngramSpark and you can have it made available out there. But guess what? If you're not marketing to people and they don't know that the book is there at Barnes & Noble or bookshop.org or wherever, they're not going to go there to buy it. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for IngramSpark's support. And thank you for all the great questions.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for having me. We appreciate it. And on behalf of Paige, we truly love what you guys are doing. And so we are definitely happy to support us in any way that we can. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll have Paige back this year as a keynote speaker. So I'm excited. She's fun and motivational. So y'all are the best. We appreciate you, and everyone have an amazing day.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.